it's taken us all of these 11 years to realize that banks just don't engage. Well, there's a perspective to that. They're about, I mean, the social media interactivity has simply exploded at this time. And we find that, I mean, especially amongst millennials, as a result of technological change, growing interactivity and interconnectivity in emerging markets. But then interestingly, a whole lot of these interactions revolve around money. This clearly presents an untapped but enormous opportunity to sort of tap into and create a digital banking experience that captures the consumer peer-to-peer relationships around saving, spending, resulting in better engagement, and potentially also disrupting the way credit ratings for first-time borrowers is done. Now, this is why we built Moola. Moola will unleash a surge in consumer digital banking by using Facebook-like feeds, messaging, tags, maps, charts to provide post-transaction engagement, right? And also by creating social graphs with friends across different social networks.
Excuse me, just to interrupt, sorry, you might want to put your presentation tool into present mode, because I'm able to see your notes as well as...
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So escape and then into... There you go. To you.
Good. Right, so we're just talking about capturing, you know, the social interaction between consumers using social graphs connected to social networks. Beyond that, we're also looking to digitize through Moola the traditional group savings, traditional social giving to sort of localize or create a local appeal for consumer banking services. And this is really important. We also would be, you know, focusing on improving the user experience and accessibility using more responsive web and mobile interfaces. All this without eliminating, you know, traditional banking controls. I mean, we're talking with bankers, that's really big. As well as banking services like card issuing, payments, withdrawals, deposits, transfers, rendered simply, all right? And also leveraging on existing banking infrastructure, banking channels, and banking principles. So just without taking too much of your time, unveil Moola. This is the landing page. It shows you a summary of all the features available on the Moola service. Signing up for a Moola account is a pretty straightforward process. The user is urged to provide basic information, typed with the key being mobile phone number, which is pivotal to the entire Moola experience, and it will be verified during sign-up. And then, optionally, users are able to request for a Moola green card, which we expect would be a Citibank-sponsored debit card linked with a Moola account. Once done with that, the user is presented with a dashboard. There's a tour of that dashboard, or we'll just skip that, maybe, and just take you through it ourselves. Now, the dashboard is carefully crafted to present an intuitive snapshot of your entire Moola experience. Facebook-like feeds, transaction feeds, present to you a timeline of all your transactions, from P2P payment transactions, bill payment transactions, card transactions at ATMs or merchant locations, with embedded messaging functionalities, allowing users to interact with their payers, their beneficiaries, the recipients, interacting with dealers, with merchants, and getting feedback through the system. And then really importantly as well is the functionality for providing income and expense or spending analytics. Now this is classified appropriately based on user-defined or system-inferred tags. And so users are able to pretty much figure out how much they've been spending on groceries, etc., giving them more control over their saving and spending projections. Well, very importantly, as if all we've been saying isn't, users are encouraged to invite their friends to Mula and create a contact list of friends across different social networks like Facebook, Google, Twitter, and as well as doing so by emails and plain SMS. Now, to the best part. At the heart of the social saving and giving is the concept of the Mula Social Finance Group. Now, this is a group for rotational savings, which we call Mula Esusu. Esusu being a popular African term for ROSCA, rotational savings and credit associations. You could also create groups for target savings towards a project or a cause. Mula raising funds. Creating a rotational savings group, for instance, is managed by a simple three-step wizard. Simply read what you need to know about rotational savings and select your preferences, number of slots, invite your friends to participate, and you're good to go. You've got the savings group page showing you the members, the group messaging, transactions, contributions, rotational payment schedules. It's also key to note that users are always one click away from transactions, basic transactions like sending money to friends on Mula or to bank accounts, paying for their bills, airtime, and what have you. Now, Mula is first and foremost, can we switch back, please? Mula is first and foremost mobile. And we say this because all we've shown you renders nicely and fluidly on mobile devices. We've also got interfaces for feature phones over USSD and SMS with interactive voice response. Now to the money part. The business model around this service aims at reducing the service charge to one simple monthly charge of approximately $1. We also would generate revenue from discounts from dealers and merchants. For Citibank, this presents an enormous opportunity for deposit mobilization and also to complement Citi in areas where you don't have the retail footprint. Looking at next steps, this service is ready to go. We will be launching this in less than 60 days. And we've got the best team possible to make this happen. We've been building enterprise-grade payment solutions over the past 11 years. In concluding, we're really pleased to be here. We thank you for putting together this lovely initiative as we look forward to collaborating with Citi in changing the face of consumer digital banking globally. Thank you.
Fantastic. We have questions, microphones, please. And we will start here in the front, and then we'll work our way back. So if we can have the microphone here first, and then we will go to the gentleman over there, please.
Hi, Aditya Menon, Global Digital Strategy for Citi. I've got a tech question for you. First of all, fantastic demo. The tech question is, how much of these services are available to Citi as API so we can actually use the services to render what we want.
Okay.
Is my mic on?
Yes.
Do you want to use this?
Thanks for that question. We expose quite a number of services as API. We also depend on third parties, which would include Citi, when we collaborate to leverage some of the things that you already have as well. Today, in Nigeria, we're a licensed mobile money operator. So we actually do have a framework that exists in terms of virtual account management systems, merchants that currently do payments and all. What we're trying to do is see how we can take this experience to a new level. So quite a lot of our solutions are available as third-party APIs. And today we have a couple of people who are connected to us, making payments and doing processing and all of that. So yes, we do have APIs.
Thanks for that. And in the back there, please.
Yes, just one more question from my side. I mean, it was a very good demo. But, the question that I have is, you will have quite a substantial amount of the data from the consumers, right?
That's correct.
And that is pretty sensitive data. I mean, what about the security of that data that you're going to have?
Okay, do you want to take that or should I? Take a stab at it. Okay, essentially, first and foremost, we've been providing financial software over these years. So we're not new to some of the bank controls and all that. Now, as Emeka mentioned, we actually are operating a mobile money service in Nigeria today. So we've got PCI DSS certification and all that around all our systems. And we will certainly stick to that even as we unleash or launch this new service. So it rides off an existing virtual account management system, integrating to banks, debit networks, etc. I don't know if that helps.
Thanks. Charlotte Ward from the Linden Foundation. Great to see what you're doing. I have some questions regarding really your target customer segmentation and market size. Also with regards to East and Southern Africa, what's your pitch to the mobile money operators? Hear what you're doing in Nigeria. What's the similar situation over here?
Very, very interesting. Okay, starting with the target market. Essentially, we're looking at this huge online social media generation of millennials that have not fully been engaged, with digital financial solutions. And that's a huge market. We actually are keeping setup and operating costs at a minimum. We expect to break even at 200,000 active users. We're targeting 5 million subscribers in the 5th year. Now, in terms of how we scale to other markets, this is driven largely over the web, mobile internet, and we expect that as we move into new markets, we will partner, and this is why we're looking to collaborate with Citi in getting into the new markets. Essentially, Citi being the holding bank where the pool accounts are held, and we leverage on existing infrastructure channels, whether it's mobile money agents and for the last mile, and more or less to drive this service, people being able to create their wallets or their accounts, depending on how we configure it with Citibank in new markets, and also depending on regulatory constraints as we enter into this new market.
Great. Heather, how are you? Great presentation. I have a question right here. Question and then more of a comment. Just what is the significance of the name Moolah?
It means money.
It means money. See, I need to learn something every day.
It's a colloquial for money. Correct.
Perfect. So here's what I see your solution doing. For the consumer, right, it's taking what we banks have just considered to be transaction activity and actually translating it into what people actually think of it. All of us think of it. It's like that was an experience, right?
Correct.
I had coffee with my girlfriend at Starbucks, and that was a memory that I created, and maybe there was something significant in that conversation, and now you're letting me kind of pull those pieces. And so I have my timeline, my memory bank that kind of starts to show up in my otherwise boring transaction history at the bank, right? So I think that's powerful. And I think there's a lot of interesting elements here, from photos to commentary to actually allowing engagement, right? So I think the security thing would be a huge question for me because, right, you don't want anybody else to access your own personal financial information, but I love the pull into. I think what we would need to spend some time doing is figuring out how we take Mueller and make it a city experience. It can't be this separate thing that you go do, right? And so I do think there's value in figuring out how we leverage your APIs to come into our own experience, right? So it becomes, city becomes a destination for our consumer to actually look and learn, but also remember. So I think that's really cool. So I'm assuming that it's possible.
Certainly is.
Okay.
Certainly is.
So very exciting, really cool. Would love to figure out, you know, as we look at, we've got consumer banks and consumer banking in 24, core consumer banking in 24 markets around the world. You know, how would we play and test and learn a little bit on some of this? I think would be very cool.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.